Can you talk about the overuse of the term decolonization? What are the dangers of using this concept as a metaphor and a buzzword? Because currently everyone is decolonizing something, whether it's food, hair. So can you speak to that?
In fact, I think this is an opportunity also to say that in the first instance, the concept of decolonization is a revolutionary concept. It's not just a lip service concept. Secondly, the concept of decolonization emerges from struggles. It does not emerge from the academy. The concept of decolonization is really a subversive concept, if I can put it that way. It is meant to subvert the structures, the institutions, and it is meant to really also change the consciousness of the modern subjects, if I can put it that way. And it is meant also to enable rewelding, if I can use that word, rewelding from the perspective of those who have been enslaved, those who have been colonized, those who have been racialized. So what it fundamentally means in revolutionary terms is that there is a colonizer's model of the world. Then there is a decolonial vision of the world. And the decolonial vision of the world is that what has been the gift of the colonizer's model of the world, it excludes other people from power. It excludes other people from the economy. It excludes other people from so many other sectors of life, and even from life itself. You have heard about this concept of premature death. People who die not because their time for death has come. They die because of the conditions and the circumstances in which they find themselves. So it's a concept which cannot just mean everything and nothing at the end of the day. But at the moment, you know that the survival of coloniality is to appropriate concepts which emerge against it, and it disciplines them so that they become part and parcel of what we call the status quo. So the widespread use of decolonization to mean so many things and nothing at the end of the day is very dangerous, if I can put it that way. It's very dangerous in the sense that for a concept to really mean change, to perform what it was meant to, it must be precise. And the very fact that now nobody fears the concept, it means it has been appropriated, and it can actually be part and parcel of the status quo. And once it works like that, of course, people can talk about it meaning different things altogether. But I must actually make it clear that if you are in Europe, decolonization means something else to you. If you are in Africa, it means something else to you, because it must be contextual. For instance, if we are talking about decolonizing the University of Bayreuth, it is very different from decolonizing the University of South Africa, in the sense that in Bayreuth, we are talking more about social inclusion, diversity, and what we call equality. In other words, it's a demographic question. Whereas if we're in Cape Town or in South Africa, you will be talking really about maybe iconography, the symbols, which are at the center of the university, like the statue of Cecil John Rhodes at Cape Town. If you were at UNISA, University of South Africa, you will find that there were very contextual, practical issues which needed to be changed. Particularly, the first thing which we dealt with was the question of casualization of black labor. And that was what we spoke about in terms of insourcing, of outsourced workers. Then if you moved to the University of Witwatersrand, their issue was the registration fees, the access to higher education. That's where the fees must fall movement emerged in that context. So This idea that nowadays everything is now become decolonize this, it really makes it, it demeans a revolutionary concept, which is meant to deal with very specific issues. And I think there are dangers there. But the caveat which I need to put is that perhaps even some of us who have been pushing this idea of decolonization, we're trying to mobilize the world behind the concept of decolonization. And the world has responded. But the world, when it responds, don't say everyone now has become a decolonial revolutionary. Some are actually taking advantage of the concept to do reformist work, not revolutionary work. So there is a difference between reform of a system and change of a system. Throughout history, the colonial system has always been reforming itself. Whenever it faces anti-systemic forces, it always either it disciplines them physically, totally kills, or it opens space for them within the same system. And it then gives you an illusion that it has changed. We saw it after 1945, when people fought against colonialism physically, carried guns in armed liberation struggles. What was the sign of being independent? Being invited into the United Nations system, into the lowest echelons of the United Nations system where we have no veto power. You are invited into the system. The system did not change. It continues. So reform, in simple terms, is a tactic of self-preservation of a system. It is not change of a system. So most of the noises which are happening today under the banner of decolonization are reformist. They are not revolutionary. So it's a matter of whereby you will go to universities, even in South Africa where roads must fall and fees must fall. People will be giving you statistics. We've changed 5 modules. We've included Zabelo Ndlovu's work, and therefore we've decolonized. That is reform. That is not revolutionary change. Because the revolutionary change means that there is an institutional transformation in such a way that a university become a home for everyone. Women must feel comfortable within a university. It must not continue to be patriarchal and dominated by men. People from peasant background, from working class background, they must find themselves comfortable within university. It must not be an institution whereby you need to enter through the gate and then you die and you are reborn in order to be a university student. You change your dressing, you change your food preferences, you change your accent. If you do that, that's not change at all.
Thank you so much. That was very profound.